Hello, fellow LEGO fans! Today I'm going to be reviewing the new LEGO Minecraft sets. If you like this video, check out all my other Minecraft videos. These are the new minifigure scale sets that just came out at the end of 2014. They're now available for purchase online. I have a link in the description if you want to go buy them right now. Rather than reviewing them set by set, as a lot of other people have done, I'm going to look at all of them at the same time, focusing in on the mobs, blocks, and items. Today's video is going to be reviewing the mobs in these sets. It's going to be a longer video. There's a very detailed table of contents in the description in case you want to jump ahead to different parts of the video. With that, let's get started. So let's start by talking about Steve, the main player character from Minecraft. The first thing to notice about Steve is that LEGO has used a hybrid style here. The head is very blocky like it is in Minecraft, but the arms are round and curvy like a normal minifigure. So it's not entirely the blocky style of Minecraft, but not entirely the curvy style of regular LEGO minifigures. And we'll see this hybridization continuing throughout all the different things that LEGO has done with the Minecraft sets. The printing on the face and the torso is very good. They've done a good job of focusing in on some key details, the eyes, the smiley face, the little opening in the shirt. Unfortunately, the printing does not carry around to the sides, so his head just sort of stops there, and he's now got hair all the way covering up where normally he'd have some ears and some skin showing over here. There's also no printing on the back. But from the front, Steve looks very much like Minecraft Steve. To drive home my point about the hybridization, here are two examples of Steve that I created at a minifigure and a slightly larger scale. You can watch my video on how to build those if you're interested. But you can see over here that the full minifigure Steve is a little more curvy, and the full blocky Steve is much blockier. So this version of Steve is very much in between these two styles. I understand that it would have been hard for them to create new arms to be more blocky for this, but that would be one thing that I think could have made this just a little more perfect. But I think given the constraints, they did a really good job with Steve here. Another area where LEGO could have improved the Steve minifigure is by giving him short sleeves. His arms should be flesh colored with short dark azure sleeves at the top. Very similar to the Simpsons minifigures for Bart, Homer, and many others that actually did have short sleeves. Now that LEGO has introduced arms with short sleeves, they really don't have an excuse for not introducing them with Steve. Here's a closer look at the new headpiece. So this is a cube piece here. LEGO doesn't typically make cubes. They usually tend to be more rectangular prisms than cubes. It's interesting to see, though, a new cube piece to fit with all this Minecraft themes. This cube happens to be 3 plates and 1 tile tall. That's with this little bump that's pushing it off the ground. The cube is actually slightly smaller than that in most dimensions. It's just with that little bump there, it fits a little better into the normal system. So you could conceive of holes that are sort of that size shape for this if you wanted to fit this through things and trying to use this in other creations if you're using this rather than for anything other than just Steve's head, because this way it just looks like a brown block. So the head of course fits really well on minifigure necks, but it also fits pretty well in the center of 4 studs on a block or a plate. Doesn't fit so well on a single stud if there's other studs around it, but if you have a stud there, it could also fit there and go around pretty good. So those are some different ways you can connect this piece. Steve is in all 6 of the new Minecraft sets. The only difference is that in the Ender Dragon set, he has diamond pants, which we'll get to later. Join us, Steve. Join us. Oh! Next up is the zombie mob. This mob is available in the sets The Cave and The Mine. It's very similar to the Steve minifig. It's got printing on the torso, the shirt opening, and it's got printing on the front of the head. I think they could have done a little more detail on the printing on the head. The zombie actually has sort of a light green colored face with some dark green sort of hair looking. This is all just sort of one green color here. And I think similar to how they have Steve having a hairline here, would have been nice for the face to be maybe like a light sand green or something, and having a hairline to make the dark green sort of match. Here's a side-by-side comparison with the minifig I did with the Dementor face. Again, the zombie could have benefited from having short sleeves on the arms, so it's disappointing that LEGO didn't do that, but overall pretty good for the minifig. Just would have liked a little more printing on the front of the face there. Brains. Next up is the skeleton mob. You can get the skeleton in the sets The Farm, Crafting Box, and The Mine. This one again just has some printing on the front of the face there. Otherwise it's all just pieces. I think they did a pretty good job with the face here. Looks like the skeleton in the game. And they're using the typical LEGO skeleton body, which I think works here. My only change here would be the arms. They used this new style skeleton arm that's kind of bent like a minifigure's. But they do have this other skeleton arm that's straight, which I think is more in line with the Minecraft style of sort of straight rectangular arms. So that would be my only change to this minifigure. So if you've got some of these arms, you can do that yourself. Make your skeleton mobs look a little bit different, a little more like the game. Next up we have the Creeper. The Creeper comes in the sets The First Night and The Mine. I think they did a wonderful job with the Creeper. The face is perfect. And it looks like a creeper, all told. Of course, LEGO has the advantage of being able to mold new pieces. So we have now this new creeper piece, which is a very specific piece, really perfect for a creeper and weird for pretty much anything else. I guess it could be like a weird monster hand or like a plant of some sort you could use it in. I have to say, their creeper turned out a lot better than mine, but they also had the advantage of making a new piece. So kudos to LEGO on a great creeper, and I think I'm going to destroy this old one now. If only I had something to blow it up with. That's a nice creeper you've got there. It would be a shame if something happened to it. Next up is the Spider. The Spider comes in the sets The Cave and The Mine. Take a 360 view here. I think they did an amazing job with the legs. It's a brilliant technique that uses hinge plates, clip plates, and some T-connectors. I'm really excited now that this T-connector piece comes in black because of this spider. Previously it was only in light gray. It's a great piece, and it's great to have it in a new color. The headpiece on the spider is slightly different than the headpiece that we looked at on the previous mobs. It's connected to this sort of 1x2 piece back here, and the cube shape is slightly larger. So the cube is, again, when seated on the ground, it's 3 plates and 1 tile tall, but it doesn't have that circle connector. So if you compare it side by side with another head, they'll look the same when they're placed on the ground equally. But if you put the cube next to the cube, you'll see that the spider cube is slightly larger than the Steve cube. There's that little bit of extra space there. My only criticism of the spider is that it's too long. The head has this weird disconnect from the back of the body. It's perfect if you want to turn this into a skeleton jockey, because that's a perfect spot for a skeleton to stand. So that's good from a functional perspective. But to me, the head just looks too much lower than the rest of the body from an aesthetic point of view. So here's a quick switch you can make to your spider. So take your spider, pull off the abdomen piece, pull off the head. You're left with a 2x3 and 2x4. Going to get rid of the 2x3, connect the head back to the 2x4, connect the whole abdomen piece right behind that. And I just think that looks more to the scale of the spider at this size. Yeah, there should be maybe a little more space between the head and the abdomen, but I feel like there was just too much space. This, kind of puts my spider at this scale to shame. So that's, again, something that should be destroyed. Next up is the Enderman. The Enderman comes in the set The Ender Dragon, and you get 3 Endermen in that set. So I think they did a pretty good job with the Enderman. There's not much to it. Arms and legs and a creepy face. The printing is spot on. There's not much more you'd want out of an Enderman head. Looks pretty good from all the angles. My only criticism of the Enderman mob is that it's really tall. So if you compare it next to Steve, Steve is about half the size of that Enderman, and really he should be about 2/3 of the size. An Enderman should be about 3 blocks tall. Here I've stacked up some blocks. These are the blocks that the Endermen hold in the set, and that's a crafting table. So you can see the Enderman is over 4 blocks tall at this scale. Steve's, a little larger than he should be. He should be less than 2 blocks tall, and he's almost 3 blocks tall, but this Enderman's really getting a little out of control. I think it looks great, but I think could have done a little shorter and been more to scale with everything else. This is the Enderman I did for minifig scale. Again, they have the benefit of being able to craft a totally new piece for the Enderman. This Enderman piece, which could be all sorts of evil beams or something. I don't know. What's nice is that now I can use the new Enderman head and modify my old Enderman. And that's, I think, more to the scale that I would have appreciated for the Enderman. Still towering over Steve, but not, like Enderman Giant there. It's the attack of the giant Enderman! Run for your life! Ah! Next up is the pig. You can get the pig in the set the first night. The pig is similar to the spider, and it's got this type of head. I think they did a good job with the printing on the pig. There's not much to the body. They used this clever 1x2 brick with the groove in it to represent the separate legs. My only complaint with the pig is that it's maybe a little taller than it should be. My suggestion would be to take off the 1x2 bricks and replace them with some stacks of 1x1 round plates. So 4 stacks that are too tall where the legs go. And that'll get the height of the pig down just a little bit. And you can also see them as separate legs there. That'll make the pig just slightly shorter than the sheep, which it should be. Speaking of the sheep is really great. The sheep comes in the set The Farm. The head, again, is one of those heads that connects to a 1x2 connection. There's not much to the sheep. They use that 1x2 brick with groove for the legs, which is really clever. Sheep's right about the right size and right color, and it's all good. Nice thing about the sheep is that since all the sheep in the game basically have the same face, it's pretty easy to turn this sheep into the other sheep. So you can swap out the main body there to have it have, light gray wool, turn it into a black wool sheep, a pink sheep, dark gray sheep. Whatever color you want to dye your sheep, you can make it in Lego pretty easy, so that's nice. Next up is the cow. The cow comes in the set The Farm. The head, again, they did a great job with printing on the head. Connects by a 1x2. They used some different plates to add different coloring in the back. They added in the udders. The legs, again, have that groove brick. I think they did a really great job with the cow mob, and I wouldn't do anything different. Mooshroom! This comes in the set, the crafting box. The most important piece here is the head with the 1x2 connection. The rest are just plates. This is very similar to the cow, except that it's got mushrooms on its back. They did a great job here again. Legs, again, are that groove brick. The last mob we're going to look at is the Ender Dragon. The last mob we're looking at is the Ender Dragon, which comes in the set, the Ender Dragon. It's quite a big mob to put together. It's the bulk of the construction in that set, but I wanted to look at it as its own entity, as a mob. It has a cool action feature where you can make the wings flap by pressing in the center spine. The neck and the tail are very articulated, so you can click them up and down and knock Steve over. The tail and the neck can sort of bend and curve all however you want them. The front and back legs are also extremely posable, depending on what you want to do. They keep showing it in the booklet sort of standing up, which is not a thing that Ender Dragons really do, but it is a cool way to pose it. You've got some cool printing on the bottom of the mouth and the eyes here. Nice printed pieces that really bring the Ender Dragon to life. One thing I would change here is they've got this 2x3 plate on the side of the face here, which really sticks out. I would just fill that in with some more 1x3 tiles. Keep it smooth on the side there. Do the same thing on the other side. They built this really to a 3 scale as opposed to a minifig scale. This is basically the same size as my 3 scale Ender Dragon. I think the wings they use do a pretty good job for the Ender Dragon. Would have been nice if they had made these a little custom, maybe with some gray on the black. They have a variety of custom dragon wings. It's a shame they didn't make them for this. On the legs back here, I think they did a really good job with the leg techniques. You could also replace these 2x3 black plates with 1x3 tiles if you want to keep it really nice and smooth. Might cover those up with tiles if you're so inclined. It's too bad they don't have that piece in black or dark gray. That light gray really sticks out there. But overall, this is a really phenomenal Ender Dragon. To make it playable and structurally sound, they kind of had to up the scale. There's a number of places they increased or decreased the scale in these sets, and this is one of the more acceptable ones, I would say, because the Ender Dragon, it's hard to tell the size of it in the sky a lot of the time anyway. But yeah, Ender Dragon looks really good. So that wraps it up for looking at the mobs. I think they're all really well done and work cohesively together. Tune in for my next Minecraft review video, which will focus on blocks, weapons, tools, and armor. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave comments telling me what you want to see me build in the future. If you like this video, check out all my other Minecraft videos. Mooshroom. Mooshroom. Hashtag Steve Sleeves. That's not the noise it makes.